Have you ever heard of instant karma? Those moments when life decides to teach a lesson right away, and everything happens so fast that you barely have time to believe what you're seeing. Thanks to security cameras and cell phones, these unexpected and often hilarious episodes are captured and shared with the world, generating that famous feeling of satisfaction when you see someone who deserves it, getting what's coming because of a reckless attitude. Those will be the moments you're going to see today. A video recorded by a security camera in Harbin in China went viral as it showed a man trying to destroy a snowman and ending up with a dose of instant karma. In the footage, the man kicks the snowman's head forcefully, but he did not expect that. Besides the snowman being heavy, the ground was slippery. As a result, he took a hard fall. Right after delivering the kick, he immediately lands on the ground, feeling the pain, stumbling, and holding his injured leg. The scene quickly spread on social media, with users laughing at the irony of the moment and calling the snowman an avenger. Surprisingly, he wasn't the only one caught doing that. A woman, also for no reason, was seen knocking over a snowman placed in a city square. But as she stomped on it, the snowman collapsed under her feet, causing her to take a big tumble too. It became quite clear that destroying a snowman might not be the best idea. Luckily, neither the man nor the woman suffered serious injuries, but the lesson and the pain throughout their bodies likely stayed with them for a long time. A driver was calmly heading down a highway when another driver behind him decided to pass in a no-passing zone and, assuming there would be no consequences, ended up regretting it. In the footage from a dashboard camera, we see the moment the car behind overtakes on a continuous line, where overtaking is prohibited by traffic laws. Because it was a straight stretch with seemingly no one around, the driver took the risk. He didn't count on the fact that hidden under the shade of a tree on the other side of the road, there was a police vehicle that immediately pulled out to pursue the offender.
Thank you. Record this. Get your camera on.
The fully black police car was concealed by the dark shadow of the tree, so nobody noticed it. Its sudden and unexpected appearance even surprised the driver who was being overtaken. Most likely, the car was positioned strategically to catch violators. Airports usually have a frame indicating the maximum carry-on luggage size to avoid checking bags. A man, wanting to dodge additional fees in United States dollars, forced his suitcase into that frame at all costs and ended up in trouble. From footage recorded by another waiting passenger, we see the man pushing and squeezing his suitcase in. He even sits on it to cram it in. As a result, besides damaging the suitcase wheels, he wedged it so tightly that neither he nor the airline staff could pull it out. The video ends without a resolution, but according to reports, they had to break the frame to free his luggage, and on top of that, he still had to pay to check the bag, as well as cover the cost of the damage he caused. A woman riding as a passenger on a motorcycle got annoyed with another woman driving alongside and decided to lash out with a kick. The result was far from pleasant. In footage captured by a driver behind them, we see the exact moment the passenger, as they ride past the other woman, tries to kick. She misses her target and, on top of that, loses her balance, falling straight onto the highway. Needless to say, it was a textbook case of instant karma, and she ended up in serious trouble for her unnecessary aggression. Despite the nasty fall at speed, the woman was not seriously injured and was helped by passing motorists. She only suffered some scrapes and was fortunate that the bike wasn't going very fast. A man was recorded by a home security camera approaching a house's front door and simply deciding to steal a package left there for the residents. But as he turned to leave, things did not go well. In the video, we see him coming from a distance and slowly getting closer. He notices no one is around and likely assumes the residents aren't home. So he acts quickly, grabs the package, and turns to leave. However, stepping down a small set of stairs, he loses his balance and falls on the spot, twisting his ankle during the theft. Since the residents weren't there, he had time to gather himself, get up, and walk away limping with the stolen item in hand. His injury seemed serious, and the residents made sure to share the footage so he was soon identified. An incident involving an attack on a McDonald's employee in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the United States happened in 2019 and gained media attention. It all started with a simple dispute about a straw. Yes, you heard that right. Local legislation imposed restrictions on plastic straws, meaning customers had to request them if they wanted to use one. This occasionally caused friction between customers and staff, as in this case, where a man, furious, attacked the attendant. The attacker, identified as Daniel Taylor, violently grabbed employee Yasmin James over the counter after the argument. Yasmin, trained in self-defense, managed to defend herself and resist. The footage was recorded, went viral, and sparked widespread outrage. Taylor was arrested soon after and faced assault charges, having started the whole altercation over a trivial matter and then assaulting a woman who was simply doing her job. A bizarre moment was captured in a viral video on social media, showing how distraction and intolerance can backfire on the person who exhibits them. In the footage, a woman crossing the street decides to give the middle finger to a passing driver. That causes her to lose focus, cross without looking, and come dangerously close to being hit by another car. The clip triggered a wave of comments, some finding it comical and pointing out the impact of impulsive attitudes in traffic, others using it as a reminder to pay attention and avoid distractions, especially when you're about to insult or be aggressive towards someone. Apparently, the woman was crossing at a spot without a designated crosswalk, so she was in the wrong. Yet she still decided to offend the driver with that gesture. She simply didn't expect to be served a dose of instant karma and narrowly avoid a serious accident. A man was caught on a highway climbing onto a truck's cargo area to steal propane gas. But when the driver noticed what was happening, he quickly acted and made the thief regret it on the spot. In the footage recorded by a dashboard camera from a vehicle behind the truck, we can see the man climbing onto the bed of the truck and pulling the gas cylinder, trying to steal it quickly before the driver noticed. However, it did not help one bit. After all, the driver soon realized what was going on, got out of the truck, and went after the man, preventing the theft and giving him quite a lesson. The driver, who did not want to suffer any loss, after all, he would likely be held responsible for any theft, took action and gave the thief a harsh lesson. The thief was left stunned and ran off. A woman practicing a pirouette had a friend by her side helping, but she refused his assistance, and her pride quite literally put her on the floor. In the footage, she appears executing the pirouette until she finally manages it, but she realizes she only succeeded because her friend supported her during the jump. Upset by this, she tells him not to touch her, since she wanted to do it alone. The friend obeys, and on her next attempt, she loses her balance and goes face first onto the floor. In other words, her arrogance in rejecting the friend's help, who was only there to prevent her from falling, literally took her down.
Don't touch me.
Okay. 3 pull snatch.
It becomes clear she only stayed balanced because of the help. As soon as she arrogantly tells him not to touch her, she falls and splats on the padded floor. Luckily, she wasn't hurt. A man dressed as the Grim Reaper tried to scare someone walking by at night, but things didn't go as planned, and he ended up in a rather humiliating situation. In footage recorded by the very person passing by, the man in costume emerges from some bushes to frighten them. However, after a few steps, he trips, stumbles awkwardly, and slams onto the ground. The moment that was supposed to be creepy or startling turned into something comedic thanks to the ridiculous fall. Instead of being terrified, the passerby starts laughing, because it's not every day you see death taking a hard tumble right before your eyes. A supporter of the Washington Commanders football team was filmed arguing heatedly with other fans in the stands. However, in the heat of the moment, as he turned around, he lost his balance and fell clumsily onto the seats. Even though the incident caused laughter and memes among those present and on the internet, it also underlined the need to keep calm at sporting events and pay attention to your surroundings, especially in stands that can be steep or dangerous. As he fell, the fans he was arguing with erupted in celebration and laughter. Despite the tumble, he got up seemingly fine. Naturally, the clip ended up on social media and went viral, appearing on various websites and even TV newscasts, leaving the man feeling even more embarrassed. The driver of a vehicle managed to capture through his car's dashboard camera the instant another driver in a pickup truck passed him, showed off, and got the worst of it. In the footage, we can see the pickup truck passing by, and for some not-so-obvious reason, its driver starts braking on purpose, forcing the following car to do the same multiple times to avoid a collision. However, what he did not expect was that an undercover police car was right behind, watching everything and soon approached, turning on its flashing lights and ordering him to pull over. If he had just passed and continued on his way without trying to harm or get revenge on anyone, he likely would not have been stopped by the police, and none of this would have happened. But he chose to act out of ignorance and paid the price. A thief was caught trying to steal a motorcycle and ended up in trouble when the owner noticed the attempt and acted to avoid losing his vehicle. In images filmed by someone who was passing by and found the scene suspicious, we see the thief with an accomplice using a power tool to cut the lock on the motorcycle wheel. This was happening in broad daylight, with people walking around. Because of the loud noise, the bike owner realized something was off, went to check, and caught them in the act. He immediately sprang into action, jumping on the thief and landing a kick. The hooded criminals were startled by his reaction and quickly decided to flee. They got scared and left the place as fast as they could. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.